Hello everyone, welcome back to Mommy and Me Budgets. In today's video, I will be reviewing my budget for the month of October. I'm starting my debt journey all over again, so if you want to see what I will be including in my budget for the month of October and how I set it up, then stay tuned for more. First thing that is crucial with starting a debt journey is to make sure that you budget. I am a paycheck budgeter. I receive a paycheck once a month, and I like to pay all of my bills at the beginning of the month to make sure that everything is paid so I don't have to worry about anything coming out throughout the month. It's all taken care of, and then I can move forward. Whatever I have left over is what I have for spending. The first step in budgeting for me is to make sure that I review my monthly calendar to see if there are any events that are occurring throughout the month that I need to set funds aside for. Today I'm using the Budget by Paycheck, the Budget Mom's workbook, and this is the workbook from 2 years ago. If you are familiar with the Budget Mom, last year she did not release a physical book. She only had printable versions of the book. So I had a few pages left in the previous book from the other year, and I thought I would go ahead and do my budget this month just to get familiar with the whole process again of using her particular book. I'm trying to decide if I want to invest in the book for next year. I feel like it's set up in a manner that is feasible for me to set up my budget, being that I'm on a debt journey. She has a lot of components in this book that is useful, such as meal planning, your debt overview, your calendar. The way the budget is set up with the sinking funds and those who use cash envelopes is also set up in the book as well. And then from what I was seeing from some YouTubers and some budgeters that have already received the book for next year, the new book has some features in it that is pretty much new. So I think I will be setting some money aside to purchase the new book. So look forward for that. But as I stated, the first thing I like to do when I set up my budget is to make sure that I look at my calendar, and I like to get a good idea of what is occurring throughout the month. I do not put my bills on my calendar because, as I stated, I pay all of my bills at the beginning of the month. So those are already out the way. They've already been accounted for. So whatever is left over is what I'm going to plot out on my calendar and try to make sure that I have funds set aside for those events so that I won't end up overspending for the month. There are two things this month that I will be, well, not two things, I'm sorry. There are four things that I planned for this month that I need to set funds for. First is I live in the state of North Carolina, so I will be attending the state fair. We also have a trip planned, an overnight trip for me, my daughter, and my mother. I had to set funds aside to make sure that I have funds for transportation and money for food. The trip is already paid for, but I want to have funds available in case we need, extra things while we're at this overnight trip. I don't want to reveal what it is yet, but I do need to have some money available, of course, to make sure that we're pretty good and can eat and can travel there. And then also there's an event that's happening in my town that I want to buy tickets for. It's a holiday event that's coming up in the month of December, and the tickets go on sale this month, so I want to make sure that I have enough funds set aside to buy those tickets. So that has to be set aside as well. So let's take a look at my budget. Just to review, this is the way that my budget is set up. This is basically a zero-based budget setup, and I do assign each dollar that's in my paycheck a duty or a job. For this month, my full-time income minus my retirement and my tithe, after all of that is deducted, I have a full-time amount of $2,690. I did have a rollover amount in my paycheck for $3. Woohoo. I had $3 left, so with that all added together, it gives me a total income of $2,693 for the month. I don't want to disclose my tithe amount because I want to keep that personal. I do have AT&T, why did I put A&T, like A&T, the school? The actual amount for that is $296.53. For this month, for my Duke Energy bill, which is my electric bill, I do not have a balance that I will be paying for this month. I did do a payment plan because I needed to free up some funds to go towards other items for this month. So I decided to do a payment plan. So this month I'm not making a payment. I will distribute the balance that is due for this month in 6 equal payments, which will be added onto my bill for the next 6 months. Next is my home gas bill. That is $38.60. This is cheaper right now because we are in the summer fall months, so we're not using gas right now, so it's a little bit lower, or a lot lower. Next is my water and utilities, which includes recycling, trash pickup. That is $33.61. Next is my AT&T wireless phone bill, which is a family plan. That amount is $174.32. My Geico car insurance is $136.67. My nationwide insurance, which is a life insurance plan that I've had since I was a child, that amount is $18.61. My exterminator is $42.50. Lawn care, I don't believe that we will be getting our grass cut again, probably until the spring of next year, so I'm leaving that blank for now. My state employees credit union is a $1 fee that is charged to my account each month, so I accounted for that. My subscription totals, $79.99, and my subscriptions include things like HP printing. I need that because I'm also a secretary at my church, so I do a lot of printing from home. Microsoft, I also have that included. I'm canceling Netflix this month and probably for the next 4 months to free up some funds so I can take those funds and apply them to a different place. I'm canceling that, as well as my Sirius XM. I had one too many subscriptions, so I thought I would trim it down a little bit. So my total now will be $79.99. My daughter earns her allowance. Her allowance amount is $50 a month, and I do pay her $10 a week. Nelnet, which is my student loan. Right now, my payment, which is resuming this month, is $86. And then my auto loan, which is through my state employees credit union, is $226. Just recently, I was able to refinance this loan and bring it down. I think previously my payment was, I think it was $285, I believe, or was it $325? I can't remember, but I trimmed that down by refinancing my car at a lower interest rate. So when I add all these totals together, the total bill amount comes to $1,183.82. I take that $1,183.82 and subtract that from my income total, and it leaves me a leftover amount of $1,509.18. So we're going down to my cash envelopes. Now, I do not deal with physical cash. I do transfer these funds to my bank account. I have a Capital One checking account that I also use for monthly spending. So this amount will be transferred there. For gas, I will be setting aside $120 for the month, which is generally about $30 a week. I have a smaller car, so it doesn't require much gas. And everything that I need to go to for the month is pretty much in a big circle, so I don't burn a lot of gas. For groceries, I'm setting aside $200. For spending, I'm setting aside $0. And the reason why I'm doing that, because with the groceries, I don't intend on spending the full $200 this month, so whatever is left over from this can go towards spending or what other needs that I may have. Usually in the month, I don't spend a lot on myself as far as like clothing or any other incidentals. Most of my money goes towards groceries, so whatever is left from this will go into my spending. Those events that I have coming up, the first one, which was the state fair, I'm setting aside $100. The tickets are already paid for. In order for us to eat and enjoy the fair, I'm setting aside $100. I don't want to exceed that amount because, in my opinion, to exceed that amount would be ridiculous. My overnight trip, I'm going to set aside $100 for transportation and food. And then for the holiday event that I plan on buying tickets for this month, for the month of December, comes to an amount of $35, including tax. So this total together comes to $555 even. And this amount subtracted from the $1,509.18 leaves me an amount of $954.18. So we do not have any sinking funds right now because, like I said, I'm starting fresh on my debt-free journey all over again. So this is not really a priority right now. It needs to be, but I can't afford to do that right now. So we take that $954.18 and we're going to place this over here with the extra debt. I have a total sum of debt that pays out each month in the amount of $778. I am doubling up payments on one of my credit accounts, trying to pay that off by the end of the year. Hopefully, with the way things are going, I will have at least 2 of my accounts paid off by the end of this year, so that will bring this amount down and I can snowball those 2 payments to another card. I will give a more detailed breakdown of my debt amount and what I owe in a debt confession at a later time. Right now I'm focusing more on saving what I can and just paying those 2 accounts and then saving whatever little I can. Once I have at least a small cushion in my checking account, then I'll be able to work more fully on my debt-free journey. There are no extra payments that will be applied. I've already incorporated that in here. The regular debt amount is $766, but with the 12 extra dollars, it's going to go here, and that's going to be the extra payment. And then I have a separate account of some money that I need to pay back is $60. So the total debt that I have for this month will be I cannot read today. $838 even. The $838 minus $954.18 will leave me a leftover amount of $116.18. Even though that's not a large amount, I'm going to put that into my savings. So I put my leftover amount of $116.18 here. I'm dividing it between 2 of my accounts. The $66.18 will be my long-term savings, and the $50 that I'm applying to my Capital One will be my short-term savings. Long-term is more like emergency events, things that are out of my control, that was not planned or was not expected. And then the Capital One will be for personal savings. Say if I want to take some money out to buy something for myself, or if I want to do something nice for my family or something nice for my daughter, that money will be there for that. And then once I take this total $116.18 and subtract it from this leftover amount, that will leave a total of $0 left over. So at the bottom of this form, and I had to use some whiteout to correct some things. Hopefully you can see this. But this is where you do your checks and balances at the bottom of the form. So we started out with $2,693 minus the sum total of, let's add this together, $1,183.82 plus $555 plus $838 plus $160.18. And that comes to the total of $2,693, which is the same as the amount that we started out with. So that means that my balance at the end of this budget is 0. So I've applied every dollar, and every dollar has a purpose. So this is pretty much my budget for the month. My intention this month is to become more intentional with my spending. I tend to overspend in places like Starbucks, or stopping at a restaurant on the way after picking my daughter up from school, or stopping by Crumble Cookie, little places like that. Like, those little things really add up. So if I can curb my spending and just focus on the things that I have intentions to spend my money on, then I will be fine for the month. So that is my prayer, that God will help me to be more intentional and to practice temperance in my spending and become a good steward over the money that He has blessed me with. So that is all for today.